events that occurred in the fight against terrorism. Benin certainly has the support of Senegal in this regard.
Du soutien du Sénégal.
Patrice Talon and his Senegalese counterpart stressed the need to reform the West African organization to adapt to its current realities.
A report by WDR's Aziz Adam Soule in Cotonou and voiced by Imo Edet. Now, Niger's 2025 budget has been revised downwards. The General Abdurrahman Tiani signed an order on Monday amending the finance law for the 2025 fiscal year. This is a measure taken by Niamey to remain aligned with its international commitments. Abdullah Hassan reports.
According to a press release from the General Secretariat of the Nigerian government, the decrease in the initial budget is estimated at more than 280 billion CFA francs or 9.36%. This brings the general state budget from more than 3,030 billion CFA francs to more than 2,070 billion CFA francs. According to the General Secretariat of the government, several factors led to this revision, including the deterioration of the security situation, the need to address additional expenditures, the formation of a new government last April, and the establishment of the Consultative Council for Reconstruction. Furthermore, the press release from the General Secretariat of the government states that the budget adjustment aims to respect Nigeria's economic commitment to its international partners. The Nigerian government seeks to reassure its partners and preserve a minimum of budgetary room to address urgent priorities, including security, governance, and economic recovery.
Abdullah Hassan with that report. In Togo, the electoral campaign ended on July 15, 2025 ahead of the municipal elections on Thursday. The campaign got off to a rather slow start but allowed candidates 2 weeks of engagement with voters at the community level. Following the security arrangement, the government assures a calm 2025 municipal election this Thursday, July 17, 2025. Christopher Atichu reports.
On the ground, political parties and independent groups continue to mobilize despite calls for postponement from some opposition parties. Posters were put up, leaflet distribution was carried out, rallies were held, and door-to-door campaigns were held. To ensure the security of these municipal elections, the security forces for the 2025 municipal elections, FOSEM, was created by a presidential decree on June 26 and began operations on June 30. A total of 59 institutions of the Independent National Electoral Commission, 11 caravans, 68 rallies, and several door-to-door campaigns were secured, according to Colonel Kura Iniwe of the National Gendarmerie, a member of the FOSEM. As a prelude to the general elections, the defense forces responsible for ensuring security on election day voted last Monday. This Wednesday, July 16, is a day of electoral silence, as all stakeholders are required to refrain from any publications or statements related to the campaign. On Thursday, citizens are expected to go to the polls to elect their municipal authorities. The government affirms that it has taken all necessary measures to ensure the smooth running of the election, despite calls for demonstrations by some Togolese activists and bloggers living abroad. Togolese authorities also announced the closure of land borders on July 17 to ensure the safe conduct of the vote. The day has been declared a paid holiday throughout the country.
Sylvie Guadrago's report presented by Christopher Atichu. You're listening to Newslink here on West Africa Democracy Radio, broadcasting from Dakar, Senegal. We are live. We are also live at wadr.org. Here is a reminder of our top stories. Former Malian Prime Minister Moussa Mara referred to District 4 prosecutor after first hearing. Côte d'Ivoire to open presidential candidacy submissions on July 25 amid electoral tensions. Benin Republic and Senegal agree to deepen cooperation in trade and security sectors. And in Nigeria, citizens denounce the trend of medical tourism causing against impact on the health system. Still ahead in the news, we also have guest interview and sports news. Please stay with us.
Fresh and breaking news all the time. Hear it first as the news breaks, only on West Africa Democracy Radio. Newslink continues.
Elsewhere, Liberia is gearing up to the host 2025 investment conference, which aims to expand the investment landscape and stimulate private sector-led growth. The conference is organized by Nova Africa in collaboration with the Office of the Vice President of Liberia, under the theme Performance, Strategy and Partnership for Sustainable Development. This national forum seeks to transition Liberia from an aid-dependent economy to one driven by investment and self-reliance. The three-day event begins on Thursday, July 17, and ends on July 19th, 2025. WDR's Monrovia correspondent Abraham Parker reports.
The conference will focus on attracting key investments in vital sectors, including agriculture, aviation, natural resources, and infrastructure. William Anderson, CEO of Nova Africa Venture Group, said the conference is a platform for mobilizing both foreign and domestic capital, highlighting the partnerships from Europe and America. According to him, the agricultural sector is anticipated to be a significant beneficiary of this investment drive.
Rice is what we need in Liberia. We grow about 240 million metric tons of rice a year, but we consume 550 million metric tons. So we're looking for serious companies around the world.
Terry Talon, head of the dedication of visiting investment groups, stated upon his arrival that their presence in Liberia is to collaborate with the private sector for potential investment opportunities.
The diaspora, we're coming back again to make a difference. Whether that's technology transfer, from investment to development, infrastructure, we're here to work and we're here to help.
Robert Stewart, president of End-to-End Solution, expressed his company's interest in helping to revamp Liberia's technology sector.
With the expansion of technology today, people use AI in a very loose term, and we actually work very diligently to train and apply opportunities in those spaces.
This investment conference is taking place days after the U.S. 5 African Nation Trade Summit, which included Liberia, to explore opportunities in the extractive sector, a key driver of the nation's economy. Thus, heads of local investment institutions in the country will come face to face with counterparts from the continent to transition Liberia from an era of aid dependence to self-sufficiency. For Newslink on WADR, Abraham Parker, Monrovia.
In Ghana, the Interior Minister has set August 1, 2025 as the deadline for all mining machinery to be registered with the Driver and Vehicle Licence Authority, DVLA. Muntaka Mohamed Mubarak warns that the unregistered equipment will face confiscation. At the same time, President John Dramani Mahama has described the surge in illegal mining as a national emergency, pleading intensify action to combat the menace. From Accra, Nadi Dictator reports.
The Interior Minister Muntaka Mubarak, in a statement on Tuesday, said the directive forms part of comprehensive government reforms to sanitize the mining sector and enforce public order. From August 2, 2025, the Ghana Police Service and the DVLA have been instructed to rigorously enforce the policy. He urged operators to comply before the deadline to avoid facing sanctions, insisting that the registration exercise is critical for accountability in the sector. This latest directive coincides with President Mahama's renewed push against illegal mining, locally known as Galamsey, which he described as a pressing national crisis.
Our forests, rivers, and green belts are national treasures, but we are alarmed by the environmental destruction that is reported across Awaso, Dadieso, and Sefia and Rianso, mainly due to illegal mining. I must be honest, this is a national emergency. The National Task Force will continue its efforts to halt illegal mining in our forest reserves and on our water bodies.
The president also sounded a warning to unauthorized task forces allegedly extorting money from licensed small-scale miners.
I've requested that the authorities arrest and prosecute any individuals involved in this illegal anti-Galamsey activity.
The Interior Minister maintains that the registration deadline is part of a broader effort to bring order and transparency to the mining sector and prevent misuse of machinery in illegal operations. For WADR, Nadi Diteti, Accra.
Well, still in Ghana, the Attorney General, Dr. Dominic Aye, has directed the Anti-Graft Agency CEO to investigate two senior NDC executives, National Organizer Joseph Yamin and third Vice President, Chairman Yakubu Abanga, over alleged links to illegal mining activities. In a letter dated July 15, Dr. Ayen cited credible intelligence, public concern and findings from the Frimpong Boateng report, a document authored under the previous administration which implicated several political figures in illegal mining networks. He further instructed SECO to extend the probe to any other implicated persons and collaborate with the Minerals Commission. This move, the first high-profile investigation involving ruling party officials since President Mahama's return to office, comes amid renewed anti-corruption and natural resource protection efforts. It also follows claims by the concerned Small-Scale Miners Association, accusing Yamin and Abanga of working with rogue operatives, harassing legitimate miners. The AG called for urgent transparent action to safeguard Ghana's environment and extractive sector.
Politics, analyses on major news, social matters, and all. This is The Guest.
The guest interview is a focus on the raging debate in Nigeria at the moment, which centers around the funding and investment in the public health sector of African nations to boost healthcare services. Speaking on benefits of public health sector investment, particularly to manage emergencies and disease outbreaks, is Dr. Kofi Nyako, medical epidemiologist at the World Health Organization African region. Take a listen.
WHO initially had an intervention called a PEN, Package of Essential NCD Interventions at the primary care level, which improve access to basic NCDs, hypertension, diabetes, and other NCDs at the primary care level. But we realized that as the patients come and when they have severe NCDs, they are not being able to manage at the lower level. They have to be referred to the higher centers in national capitals, and some of them are not able to go. So there was a gap in access for severe NCDs. So the PEN Plus strategy is bridging the access gap. So we are building the capacity of district hospitals called the first referral facilities in terms of human resource, device, equipment, so that patients will have access to what is needed instead of going to the national capitals at the district hospital. So that is what the PEN Plus strategy is about. It bridges the access gap so that those vulnerable at the lower level in our district rural areas will have access to the needed care.
Well, so how does this year's theme build upon the progress made since the first conference that took place in Tanzania in 2024?
Okay, so the first conference brought in civil society organizations, partners, key stakeholders. It was the first conference telling people about what PEN Plus is and what we need to do. And we had pilot countries, 10 countries that were implementing. So it was the initial phase. So this one builds on the momentum of the earlier one. And this conference is actually to look at the technical progress. Where has countries been? Are they doing well? Are they saving lives? Are the people having access to the needed care? So this is technical meeting, which is looking at the technical innovations and other insights and scalable solutions that other countries can also learn lessons and expand their scale. So that is why we are saying advancing the implementation of PEN Plus. So this meeting is actually looking at each country, what they are doing, are there challenges, what can be done to overcome these challenges to ensure that people have access to the needed care that they need for severe NCDs, namely type 1 diabetes, sickle cell disease, rheumatic heart disease, and other severe non-communicable diseases.
Indeed, PEN Plus seems to be for those at the grassroots level who don't have easy access to this healthcare. But how is the PEN Plus now addressing this current gaps in access to care for severe NCDs, especially in remote and rural areas of Africa?
Yes, it's doing very well. We have over 20 countries. WHO is supporting 20. We have other donors who are supporting PEN Plus. When you talk of Rwanda, for example, all their district hospitals are implementing PEN Plus. So it means in Rwanda, if you have severe NCD and you go to your district, you can be treated. You don't need to go to the national capital. So Rwanda, Malawi doing very well. Other countries are coming up. And this year's meeting shows great improvement and significant improvement. So what we need to do is that countries should scale up. And this PEM Plus from WHO was a catalytic funding to help countries know that this works. And therefore, we need to expand, get more resources, engage more donors, health partners, so that they can put money into PEM Plus.
Dr. Kofi Nyako is medical epidemiologist at the World Health Organization African region. Well, in sports, the city of Abeokuta, the capital of Ogun State in southwestern Nigeria, has become the heartbeat of African athletics as it welcomes young talents from across the continent for the African Under-18 and Under-20 Athletics Championship. Hundreds of rising stars from various African nations have gathered in Abeokuta, eager to compete, shine and etch their names into the future of athletics. From sprint to long distances, jumps to throws, the championship promises an exhilarating showcase of potential and passion. In football, with less than 3 weeks to go before the 2024 African Nations Championship CHAN kick-off, Kenyan officials have reaffirmed their preparedness to host a safe and top-tier tournament. Internal Security Cabinet Secretary Chumba Mokomen, alongside CS Salim Sports Minister Salim Mavro, led an inspection of Moi Sports Center, Kasarani and Nyoyo National Stadium, key venues in Nairobi. The team also assessed the training facilities ahead of the August 2-30 event. And Chelsea's dramatic FIFA Club World Cup victory over Paris Saint-Germain has been overshadowed by the controversy, with reports claiming the trophy presented was replica. The Blues lifted the silverware at MetLife Stadium on July 13, with Captain Rhys James receiving it from US President Donald Trump and FIFA President Gianni Infantino. However, speculations have since surged on social media and in global media circles, suggesting the original trophy remains in Donald Trump's possession. We have come to the end of this edition of Newslink from West Africa Democracy Radio, broadcasting from Dakar, Senegal. Thank you for listening, and many thanks to our technical team. Do interact with us via our social media platforms, X and formerly Twitter and Instagram at WADR News, and on Facebook, West Africa Democracy Radio English Service. I am Sankule Janko. Good evening.
And many thanks to you for listening to Newslink via Hot 105.